And Anneliese Drizzell from the Health Hub in Ballincollig joins us as usual on a Monday afternoon. Afternoon to you, Anneliese.
Afternoon, John Paul.
And you had a nice weekend?
Absolutely lovely, yeah. Sure, it's like spring today in Ballincollig. The sun is shining, it's glorious.
Yes, same in many parts. Cloudy in some parts, but at least it's dry, sun is shining. So yeah, real spring feeling around, and a lot of people looking forward to the sun so they can get some much needed vitamin D and more vitamins during the summer. But a lot of questions in, Anneliese, and let's start with this one from Marie. Marie is asking you, can you recommend anything to help with pain from sciatica and also from a herniated disc? Is there anything you can help her with that?
So sciatica is a trapped nerve, and it's probably caused by a herniated disc, which means that the disc between the vertebrae, sort of cushioning the back vertebrae, has worn away or has burst or collapsed. And unfortunately, that's what's causing the sciatica. So it's obviously trapping the nerve and causing inflammation of the nerve. And there is very little, actually, John Paul, naturally, that can help with that because it is a structural issue. Now, there is stuff that you can take to support the cartilage between the vertebrae and between your joints. And there are things like UC2 cartilage is very good. Omega-3 fats are great as a natural anti-inflammatory. Collagen is another very good one as well for supporting the joints, and glucosamine. But in the case of sciatica, this is like a long-term, support for joints as opposed to an immediate. I know some people have had great relief from getting an injection into their buttock, into the piriformis muscle in their buttock. And it seems to help with the pain, John Paul. It's a temporary solution, but it does give people great relief. So maybe she could talk to her doctor about that. I think they're fairly expensive, but they can give 6 months or longer of good relief.
Okay, hopefully that helps you there, Marie. And this person, no name on this text, but they are taking Revive Active in the morning and then olive leaf extract in the middle of the day, and then magnesium for nighttime with all the other ingredients in it. Now, once a month, this person takes 25,000 IU of vitamin D. They want to know, are they taking too much because they have long COVID with 1.5 years?
It sounds to me like there is definitely vitamin D in the Revive Active, John Paul, and there's there's at least 1,000 in there, 1,000 IUs. And if they're taking that daily and then 20,000 once a month, I would say that it's too much vitamin D. Now, it's very hard to know unless you get your blood levels checked whether or not you have too much or too little vitamin D, but I would be thinking that that's quite a lot. So I would say maybe talk to your doctor about stopping that 25,000 IU dose once a month, or else get your bloods checked and make sure that they're not overdosing. But other than that, there'll be a little bit of crossover between maybe the magnesium at night if there's other vitamins in there and the Revive Active, but nothing to be concerned about.
Okay, and Mary's sister has a 10-year-old. Now, she doesn't eat anything apart from bread rolls, so the school lunches can always come back to the house again. So she wants to know, is there anything you can suggest on how to get a 10-year-old or around that age, how to get their appetite going again outside of eating bread rolls?
Yeah, so I think it's very complex really for kids, John Paul, as well, because sometimes if they eat foods when they're feeling sick, they associate the eating of the food with the feeling of being sick. And so they become very picky about eating food. In terms of improving the appetite, I think probably an iron tonic is always a good way to go for young kids. The Floridix is a lovely one because it's very easy to take. It just tastes like orange juice, and there's vitamin C in there for the absorption of iron. And you can get that in any health shop. So that can be a very good one. Another reason that appetite could be low is zinc. Zinc is very important for smell, taste and appetite and immune system function. So it can deplete quite quickly in the winter months, and especially if it's not in the diet. You need to be eating a lot of seeds, nuts and seeds, and seafood like fish and shellfish to get zinc. So it could be deficient. So maybe another nice supplement in this case would be a little vitamin C. And again, you can get chewable vitamin Cs that are very suitable for children. And then I think advice around helping kids to eat better is to get them involved in the preparation of food. So when they come in, let them peel their own cucumber or give them little cherry tomatoes and things that they might be willing to sort of take in their hand and nibble at. Always a smoothie is a great way to pack a load of stuff in. So get frozen berries and put in a yogurt and a banana to sweeten it up. And sweeten it with honey. Don't worry about sweetening it if they'll take it. That's a great way of doing it. And then hiding vegetables in sauces by liquidizing, tomato-based sauces and using them for things like pizza topping and spaghetti bolognese. Another good way of getting veg into them.
Okay, and Martin is in Mitchelstown. Now, he wants to know, Anneliese, what he can use instead of Mercurochrome. He said he needs this for a corn on his foot and he has type 2 diabetes. Now, while he's waiting for an appointment because there's a backlog, is there anything he can use instead of that supplement?
So, yeah, I think probably the best alternative would be something called colloidal silver. So Mercurochrome actually was what we all would have been put on our legs, John Paul, when we were kids. And it was a kind of used as an antibiotic to prevent the cut becoming infected. But there's mercury in it, and mercury is quite dangerous for the nervous system. It's actually very dangerous for the nervous system, so it has been taken off the market. But colloidal silver can work very well as an alternative. It has the same antibacterial effects as mercury, but because it's in tiny nanoparticles, it's never going to build up to the levels where it could be damaging to the nervous system. So you'll get this as a spray. You can also get it as a cream or a gel, and it's a great thing for slow healing or wounds that need to be kept sterile without causing any side effects.
Well, hopefully that helps you there, Martin, in Mitchelstown. And then from Mitchelstown to Drumcolliher, Sheila wants to know what you would recommend for eczema or dermatitis. It's very itchy for her at the moment.
So eczema generally, I think, is always related to the gut, John Paul. And often people who have eczema will have IBS or they'll have food intolerances. So really the deep key to get rid of eczema is to deal with the gut and get rid of any food intolerances. But if you wanted to just try some stuff off the shelf, what I'd first recommend is a good probiotic for the skin, and that will help with the gut element. And BioNutri do one called Dermadophilus, DERMA, and then DOPHILUS, Dermadophilus. It's by a company called BioNutri. That's one that's been specifically designed to support healthy skin. Then take some good quality fish oil to put the fat into the skin, because with eczema the skin tends to be very dry and damages very easily. So you need a very, very high strength one. So I'd go for either the Wiley's Platinum or the Unocardio Plus, and they're both lovely high strength fish oils. So that's what you can take from the inside. And then from the outside, I would use the Salcura. They do a lovely spray called Derma Spray that's full of omega-7 fats and lavender and tea tree and very, very soothing essential oils. It's very, very good to stop the immediate itch and to hydrate the skin quickly. And they also do a cream called Zeoderm. And then the last thing that we get good feedback here on the shop is the Hopes Relief, and they do an eczema cream as well.
And Trevor is in Mahon. Now he's wondering, he suffers from gout. Is there anything you could recommend to either ease the pain from gout or to prevent it altogether?
Yes. So the best thing with gout is prevention. Now diet is a huge part to play with it. And it's purines, which are proteins that you find in things like fish and meat, very high in beer as well, eggs, cheese. They'd all be very high in purines. And the problem with people who get gout is that gets converted to uric acid in the bloodstream. And if that uric acid can crystallize and get stuck between joints, and it can be excruciatingly painful. So targeting the diet is one way of doing it. But if you don't want to really make huge changes in your diet, drinking tart or bitter cherry juice every single day can help. And then if you're in a flare-up, I'd highly recommend Dr. Claire. She does a very good natural anti-inflammatory for joint pain called Musculo, Musculo Joint, Musculo Joint. So I would take that 3 times a day. And then Terra Nova also have a very good product. This is a company, you'll find these in a health shop, and it is tart, cherry and turmeric and nettle combination. It comes in a powder, so you just would add that into a drink, water, and drink it. So if you're in a flare-up, do that 3 times a day, and for prevention, take a glass of cherry juice or the Terra Nova product once a day.
And very finally, Carmel is in Skibbereen. She has a 7-year-old son. Now, he obviously is going to school and he plays sport outside of school, but he seems to get run down a lot with sore throats, sometimes mouth ulcers as well. What can she give him to improve that he doesn't keep getting sore throats? That's the big thing that he seems to be getting at the moment, is the throat and the mouth ulcers.
So the first thing I always ask John Paul is if the diet is any good, because if kids aren't eating a lot and if they're very sporty, they're going to have a higher requirement for vitamins and minerals. So if the diet is good, don't worry about it. But if the diet is not good, consider a good quality multivitamin. There's a couple of very nice ones on the market for young kids. For young kids, the Animal Parade gummies and the chewables go down very well. But there's also lots of different kinds of ones that will cover all of the basics that you'll get in any pharmacy if you can't get to the health shop. The one things that I think that kids don't get in diet much are things like vitamin C and zinc. Also the beta-glucans, which tend to come in mushrooms. They're all foods that kids don't like to get. And these are wonderful to support the immune system. So I'd recommend taking something like BioNutri, do a junior elderberry complex. I think Salgar have something similar if you can't get the BioNutri one. And BioCare also do an elderberry complex. So these are going to have a lot of things that are difficult to get in the diet that are natural antivirals and immune boosters. And then the thing I'd recommend then for the sore throat element, Irish Botanica, an Irish company, they do a lovely product called Throat Coat, and it comes as a spray, and it's a blend of different things, including echinacea and marshmallow. So it's very soothing if you have a sore throat, but it's great to use as a preventative. So I'd recommend he took a few blasts of that before he'd go out on the soccer pitch, getting cold, or wherever he's training, getting cold and, getting in contact with other germs, just to protect the throat.
Okay, and thank you for that, Anneliese. I know you want to mention bone health advice because you have something coming up there within your health hub in Ballincollig.
Yeah, so on the 2nd of March, John Paul, which is a Thursday, from 11 to 1 o'clock, I'll be here, as well as another nutritional therapist called Fiona Davies. She works for a company called Nature's Plus, who do one of the two of my favourite bone supplements, actually, the Garden Bone Support and the Cheap and Cheerful one as well. We often get great feedback on them. So we'll be here to answer questions about bones, about diet, and to recommend supplements. And it's just free to drop in, so just feel free to come to the Health Hub on Thursday, March the 2nd, between 11 and 1.
Very good. Anneliese, thank you for that, and we'll chat to you next week.
Thanks, John
Take
Paul.
care. That's Anneliese Drizel there joining us from the Health Hub in Times Square in Ballincollig. If you missed anything we discussed there, you can log on and check out the podcast on c103.ie or via the C1